There we go. So this is a picture of the staff. We have our regular staff meetings and CLW Wednesdays, but we also have a Let's Connect. And so I'm going to be posting this on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, but this is just Let's Connect, and those were messages to our families and our students that the staff wanted to send out. But I just wanted to share, you know, there's a lot of discussion going on throughout our country about distance learning, and I just really wanted to emphasize again that distance learning is really doing, or remote learning is being done to minimize the disruption in our students' lives with learning. And it's really there to continue the learning and help, more importantly, to keep those connections between the students and the teachers. And it's so important, and I know our students are craving that. We are too. And it's so important for the children to be making connections with their classmates and with the teacher as well. So we do very much encourage our students to participate in the distance learning and access the recorded instruction and participate in the live instruction. I know that there are many challenges that can come up with schedules, and for some students it's even hard to log into a Zoom and you know, be there and be on camera too. So we really recognize that there are many challenges that our students are facing. And really thinking about our families too, and all the parts that you are all juggling to be able to support your students. But we just really want to set them up for success and continue that learning. We're so looking forward to when we can reopen and be back on campus with our students. We miss them so much. And we so appreciate all the support that the parents are doing to continue and support that learning. So I wanted to share a couple remote learning tips that you may have encountered already, since we're several weeks in, but as we go into the last, I think it's last 5 weeks of school or 6 weeks of school, just some things that might be helpful. And one of them being that really allowing the students to be the problem solvers, working through it with them to figure it out. I think so often, you know, as they're working through things, we want to kind of rescue them and fix it for them, but allowing them to be the problem solvers, whether it's academic or routines or schedules, and just asking them questions like, you know, do you need to take a break right now? What's another way you can think about this? What might work better? And even saying, you know, do you want to revisit this tomorrow? That it's okay to have them, if it's, you know, if they're emotional and they're stressed, it's okay to take a break and we can revisit it. So kind of giving them that leverage and allowing for flexibility. You probably all have your schedules already in place, but really involving the students in creating their own schedule, and as remote learning might evolve and look a little bit different in the coming weeks, and just allowing them to have that ownership over the schedule can really create them feeling like they're in control and that ownership as well. And then oftentimes too, teachers, brain breaks are really, really important. If students are feeling really pressured, like, okay, well, I have my Zoom meeting, I've got to be prepared, teachers are going to understand and they're going to respond to what their students need as well. So again, just really reinforcing that flexibility, that it's okay, because the teachers are there to support them and they realize everything that they're all juggling as well. I have a little video that I want to share with you. It's a nice little problem solving video. It's only about a minute long, and it's this cute dog that is working through a problem. So it's kind of a nice little metaphor for it. It's one of my favorite little problem solving videos. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on. really captures, that encouragement and just keep trying and just being patient. And I just think it's so cute, how the dog works through that problem of wanting to keep the stick, but how can you make it work? So if your child gets stuck, again, asking them questions like, well, what are your thoughts about it? And if they're sharing information, just saying, what makes you say that? And saying, that's interesting. Why do you think that's so? So really just probing them more with questions. And just encouraging them to do their best and moving on to the next thing and coming back to it, and just really reaffirming that if you don't have to learn, you don't have to know it right away. Learning takes time, and it's okay to come back to it. But asking them questions too if they get stuck of, what do you already know? What are the parts that are difficult? And really just encouraging them to be the thinker. If your child is older, we do encourage them to email their teachers and reach out to them. And even our younger students have been emailing their teachers as well. And just frequent interaction is really important for our students. So within the school day, that's happening a lot. And I know that we're not with our classmates, they're with their classmates, but just checking in with them throughout the day and encouraging those breaks are just really important. And then creating a learning environment. Our children learn in environments that are very flexible, they're very comfy. So even within your home, allowing students to create different learning environments, be creative with pillows and cushions and, different things, that they might have a spot where they're reading, or they might have a spot where they're working on mathematics, because that happens so often in the classroom. So just another little helpful hint, and really keeping them away from distractions if you can, because there's a lot going on. And again, providing them that opportunity to take ownership over those environments for their learning. And then just reminding too, a good reminder, because our students are so connected to their devices right now, because that's where they're getting their information. But just knowing too that it's okay to have paper and pencil and a whiteboard, and taking those opportunities to do them on a different, it doesn't have to be on Seesaw or on their learning platform. And again, teachers are going to understand that if they decide not to type something or do it in Seesaw, they're going to do it on paper or whiteboard. So just knowing that flexibility as well. Does anybody have any questions so far, or any thoughts, or anything that maybe has worked at home that you want to share for all the parents as well? I can't see everybody, so if you just want to unmute if you have any thoughts.
I do put my kids under the bed. That's put my kids under the bed.
But it's a good learning environment, right? I mean,
they love it.
The kids do. They find little nooks and little areas in the classroom, and so I'm sure that happens at home too. And so just allowing that opportunity is great. And then I just wanted to share a couple things about Second Step. So, Second Step is our social emotional program that we have in addition to the 8 keys. And, part of Second Step is really identifying your emotions. And sometimes students won't be able to say, I'm frustrated or I'm sad, but they will know that they're being emotional about something, and it's okay. It's okay for them to feel that way, and just really validating that, but then going back to, okay, so how can we work through this? I understand you're feeling this way. What are some of the things that we can try to help you to feel better? And as we look at school closure, and with COVID, we are several weeks into it, but students, they may still feel very worried. They may be very worried, are we even going to get to go back to school in the fall, with all the discussion that's going on? And so just reminding them that it is normal to feel unsure. We're all kind of unsure, but that they are doing a really good job to keep their family safe, and that they have the power over doing things like wearing their mask when they go out, and washing their hands, and even being, at home is really helping the situation that we have. So, and just always reminding them, how can we make a plan? How can I support you? And then breaks and walks and all those things are so important as well. And then our students do learn to, oh, go ahead, Jennifer.
Joanna had a question.
Oh, yeah.
She says, what is the recommended time online for learning per grade? For example, they are not online 6 hours a day.
They are not. It's because 6 hours a day would be I was on 6 hours today from 8:30 to 2:30, I think it was. And my eyes, I mean, I had to go for a walk. You know, I had to really take a break and then come back to do my final preparations for tonight. So there isn't really a time frame for that. You know, remote learning has really evolved, as you have seen over the weeks, and I think we're 2 or 3 weeks into recorded and live instruction. So teachers are, the guidelines that they've been given is to really make it meaningful and purposeful in their live instruction. So they have to really think about what do my students need, and how am I going to maximize this live instruction that's going to be best for our students. And then really thinking about those times to connect together. So whether it's, you know, playing a game or they're sharing, we just really have that value of that connectedness. And then teachers are also thinking about, okay, what lessons am I going to do live, and then what am I going to record? Because it makes sense to record this lesson. So maybe they're launching, for example, in 2nd grade, their hero project that they've been doing. You know, when you're launching a project, it makes sense to record all of the directions and the guidelines, and then the children can go back and review that video. And then during their live instruction, it's an opportunity to answer questions. So there isn't really a recommended time, and some students are going to work at a faster pace, and then some students are going to work at a slower pace. Some students may get a little bit overwhelmed at what, you know, is in the platform, so teachers are readjusting and really prioritizing as well. So if your students are experiencing those things, I'd really encourage you to reach out to your teacher, because they really do want to personalize and be responsive to support the students. Okay, are there any other questions so far? Jennifer, thank you for helping me with that, because I can't see you.
Yeah, Stephanie Manzolino just said, great tips. Thank you, Miss Ebright, Miss Farmer have been rock stars. I overhear their Zoom meetings and they are awesome. So thankful for our teachers.
Oh yes, me too. They're doing so great, and our surf riders and all the parents are just doing great through all of this, because I know it's not easy. And then it's just another second step too is our students do learn calming down strategies, and so these are good reminders as well. With emotion management, being able to do some belly breathing, you know, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Doing 3 breaths is really powerful if they're upset, you know, walking around, taking their breaths. I'm also a very firm believer in positive self-talk too. So if students are frustrated and they start to say things that are negative, helping them put a positive spin on it, and reframe the situation. You know, I don't get it. Okay, you don't get it yet, but it's something that we can continue to work on. Is really important. And again, giving themselves some time as well. And then another part too is problem solving. So our students use STEP, and so this might be very helpful for siblings at home too, is to work through a problem. And the S stands for saying the problem without blame, and that can be hard, so we gotta talk through that a little bit. Thinking through the solution, so what are some possible things that we could try that would solve the problem, and then talk about those explore those consequences, explore those solutions, and what might be the outcomes of them. And then the P would stand for picking the best solution. And so I have a little sheet too that I will send out to families, because these can be little helpful hints as well, because we do use them at school and could possibly be helpful in the home as well.
Andrea, I have a quick question. I think my son has shown me a video of this. Are there links and there's kind of like dances?
There is a song, yes. Yeah, so I can also include for families the song, because that would be a great way to work through it too. And they're little catchy, little fun videos too. Yes, So I will send that out as well. Because my plan is for families is to now kind of break this presentation apart, do a little video, and send them out to families so that they can reference it as well. Does anybody else have any questions from the things that I've shared? And then I'll talk a little bit about the Heights relocation. Okay. Jennifer, do you see any questions? Are we good? Anything in the chat? Okay. Okay, Heights relocation update. There is a board meeting that is happening on May 12th. And during that time, the school board's going to be reviewing the CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act documents, and we'll be making the decision about moving forward with the Heights relocation and moving the Heights students off campus to be able to do the rebuild. So that will be happening on May 12th. So if you want to visit that board meeting, all that information would be on our district website to be able to do that. We currently have a district committee planning, or a district committee doing the planning for our reopening of school. I am one of the principals on that committee, and we've had one meeting, and I have another meeting tomorrow, and there are members throughout our district that are representing each of the departments throughout our district, and we're really making sure that, of course, we're following, that's our top priority, to follow all of the health services guidelines, our county board of health, to make sure that we're following and how we're going to implement, social distancing guidelines, making sure our students are able to do proper hand washing, during recess, before they eat lunch. What would our lunch schedule look like if our students need to be washing hands? Having masks available, taking a look at how lunch and recess might need to be structured a little bit differently, and looking at also what the structure of the instructional day is going to be. So I know there's a lot of information going out from so many places in our media as well. And so as a district, we are exploring all of those scenarios and coming up even with different plans and scenarios to make sure that we are certainly following the safety protocols for our students first and foremost. So after May 12th, after the board meeting, then I will have more information, and as our district committee plans for reopening, we will be giving communication to all of our parents. And Dr. Holly McClurg, Jenny Ha, and I believe Shelley Peterson as well will start to do weekly updates throughout our community as well, to keep parents informed about next steps as well. Are there any other questions? I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen here. Uh-oh. There we go. If anybody has any questions or anything? No? Okay. Well, you are more than welcome to email me anytime if anything comes to mind or any questions that you have. I'm here and happy to support and answer your questions as well.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
Has there been any discussion of postponing this Heights rebuild to accommodate social distancing?
Not that I'm aware of. If when the board does have the meeting and if we do move forward with it, we will certainly be making sure that we're following all of the social distancing guidelines. But there has, from what I know, I'm not aware if there's been any discussion about postponing at this time.
Okay. It just seems like it would be a lot easier without adding children to the campus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Andrea, on the May 12th meeting, decisions will be made. It'll be solidified, whatever the district is planning to do.
Yeah, from what I understand, they're going to be reviewing the CEQA documents, which is the California Environmental Quality Act, and the board will be discussing making the decision to move forward, and having that be a big part of the board meeting on May 12th. So that'll be a really important board meeting to attend if you're really wondering what's happening. And then of course, after the board meeting, information will be shared as well with our communities. Because it's really important, you know, Chris Delahante did come out and talked about towards the beginning, you know, gathering information, and then we had discussions about our facilities master plan going forward. And so we'll want to make sure that our community is really informed as well going forward. Okay, any other questions? Okay.
Thank you so much, Mrs.
You're welcome.
That was great. That was great to
Welcome.
learn some new tips about how to help with this new reality that we're dealing with.
I know.
We appreciate your time so much.
Of course.
And I thank you guys so much for all your time with giving us an hour to sit with us. So fun. Guys.
It's like somebody's down at the beach right now.
I know.
We're working on the beach.
No stopping.
Yes.
All right.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
So is there anything else that you guys would like to ask Ms. Sleet? All right, then I will end the meeting. Thanks so much, guys, for spending your time with us.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Guys, around.
For all the info.
Okay. Okay.